मनराल, उप सैन्य सचिव ग्रुप कैप्टन अभय अरुण फंडसालकर, उनके साथ उनके एडीसी मेजर ऋषभ सिंह संब्याल और मेजर सिद्धार्थ शर्मा। भव्य राष्ट्रपति भवन का ये प्रांगण, जहां राष्ट्रपति अंगरक्षक तैयार, पहले राष्ट्रपति जी को सैल्यूट दिया जाएगा और उसके बाद वो प्रस्थान करेंगी विजय चौक की ओर आज के बीटिंग रिट्रीट समारोह के लिए, जिसकी वो मुख्य अतिथि हैं।
The President of India and the Supreme Commander of the Indian Armed Forces, the President of India, Srimati Droupadi Murmu. Going down the steps leading into the impressive and ceremonial forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan. Traditions of the past finding new life in the recent years. President Droupadi Murmu has revised a tradition and chooses to arrive for the Republic Day parade and for the beating retreat ceremony in this majestic horse-pulled buggy, adding a touch of historical grandeur to the celebrations. In fact, these horses and those of the President's bodyguard are bred at the Army Remount and Veterinary Corps depots and undergo rigorous training to also acclimatize them to various sounds of armor and audiences too, including gunfire and horn honking. The President's bodyguard ready and waiting to escort the President to Vijay Chowk.
4 दशक बाद ये ऐतिहासिक बग्घी फिर से अब गणतंत्र दिवस समारोह का हिस्सा बनी है। राष्ट्रपति जी इसमें समारोह पूर्वक प्रस्थान कर रही हैं विजय चौक की ओर, जहां आपसे कुछ देर में उनका आगमन होगा और फिर बीटिंग रिट्रीट समारोह प्रारंभ होगा। ऐतिहासिक बग्घी राष्ट्रपति अंगरक्षकों की रेजिमेंट कमांडेंट कर्नल अमित बेरवाल की कमान में अपने घोड़े ग्लोरियस पर, रेजिमेंट के सेकंड इन कमांड लेफ्टिनेंट कर्नल अंगद सिंह थिन अपने घोड़े सुल्तान पर, 46 सजीले घुड़सवारों का ये दस्ता राष्ट्रपति भवन के प्रांगण से मुख्य द्वार की ओर बढ़ता हुआ।
The senior-most regiment of the Indian Army, the President's bodyguard, the Commandant, Colonel Amit Berwal, astride Glorious, and the 2IC, Lieutenant Colonel Angad Singh Thin, astride Sultan. This regiment is based in Rashtrapati Bhavan and its personnel are also trained as paratroopers and are expected to lead in airborne assaults as pathfinders. Their excellent military traditions and professionalism of this regiment, and in fact, in the words of the President, they are the flag bearers of the rich heritage and military culture of our lands. With discipline, dedication and valor, they strive to maintain the best traditions of Rashtrapati Bhavan. The officers and men of the TVG are not only highly proficient cavalry horse riders, they also share a very unique bond with their horses. In fact, beyond ceremonial duties, these horses excel in sports, also contributing to the regiment its 250-year-old legacy. Proficient cavalry horse riders, trained tankmen, daring paratroopers. And here at Vijay Chowk, excitement galore as Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrives here at the venue.
गण्यमान्य व्यक्तियों की मौजूदगी से समारोह की शान बढ़ती है। एक एक करके आगमन हो रहा है भारत के सबसे महत्वपूर्ण व्यक्तियों का। जाना पहचाना ये कारों का काफिला धीरे धीरे विजय चौक पर सलामी मंच के नजदीक रुकता हुआ जन समूह में उत्सुकता बढ़ती हुई हमारे गणतंत्र उत्सव बीटिंग रिट्रीट समारोह पर आगमन हो रहा है दुनिया के सबसे बड़े लोकतंत्र भारत के प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी का। उनकी अगवानी के लिए रक्षा मंत्री, रक्षा राज्य मंत्री, डिफेंस सेक्रेटरी, सीडीएस और तीनों सेनाओं के अध्यक्ष माननीय प्रधानमंत्री का आगमन विजय चौक पर।
The Prime Minister having arrived here for the finale of our Republic Day celebrations. So as we take in these thoughtfully and aesthetically framed visuals by our highly trained and professional and passionate camera and production team, we can't but wholeheartedly appreciate the beauty of this magnificent heritage steeped in history. As we've seen over the years, when time merges the yesteryears into today, days like today make us feel anchored and held, a sense of belonging to our roots that allow us to look forward to a tomorrow. Stability, change, continuity, all in a particular rhythm feeding into culture and tradition. And on days like today, this tradition speaks to a republic. And in a short while from now, martial music will move into millennial sensibilities.
बीटिंग रिट्रीट समारोह जो गणतंत्र दिवस समारोह का औपचारिक और विधिवत समापन होता है अब से कुछ ही देर में प्रारंभ होगा और इधर विजय चौक पर आगमन देश के माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति श्री जगदीप धनखड़ का। उनके साथ उनकी पत्नी डॉक्टर सुदेश धनखड़ अभिवादन स्वीकार करते हुए बीटिंग रिट्रीट समारोह में पिछले कुछ वर्षों में अब हम सिर्फ भारतीय धुनें सुनते हैं। सेना के बैंड एक एक करके जो अपनी प्रस्तुतियां देते हैं वो एक अविस्मरणीय अनुभव बन जाता है सभी के लिए।
So now, after the arrival of the Vice President here, all animate and inanimate eyes, all structures around in the direction of Rashtrapati Bhavan. And here we can see this shot gently leading towards the venue. So while during our march into the future and with modernization being critical to our defense preparedness, our armed forces are bound together and united by their values, ethos and traditions. Martial music has, over the centuries, marched shoulder to shoulder with all military activities. In times of peace and in battle, bonding, camaraderie and spirits have always been lifted to inspire. Buglers heralding the arrival of the President.
बिगुल का उद्घोष और आगमन हो रहा है देश की प्रथम नागरिक, सेनाओं की सर्वोच्च कमांडर, माननीय राष्ट्रपति श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू का। परंपरा, सादगी और भव्यता भी। गणतंत्र के उत्सव अनोखे हैं और आगमन हो रहा है देश के माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी का।
आपसे अनुरोध अपने अपने स्थान पर सत्सम्मान खड़े हो जाएं, वर्दी भाई सैल्यूट करें।
हमारे गणतंत्र के उत्सव अनोखे हैं और माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी अभिवादन स्वीकार करते हुए
the national anthem and the unfurling of the flag.
Russian salute! Mother tank! Attention, Algo! Kadam! Kadam!
राष्ट्रपति अंगरक्षक प्रस्थान कर रहे हैं और कार्यक्रम की समाप्ति पर अब लौटेंगे। बीटिंग रिट्रीट समारोह ऐसा उत्सव है जो देशवासियों को गौरव देता है और संतोष भी। आज गणतंत्र के रंगों में रंग जाना चाहता है हर मन, उत्सव की भावना में बस जाना चाहता है आज हर जन।
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all requested to rise for the retreat. Those in uniform will salute. देवी और सज्जनों कृपया रिट्रीट के लिए खड़े हो जाएं। वर्दीधारी रिट्रीट के दौरान सैल्यूट करें।
समापन समारोह समाप्त हुआ। मंच को ले जाने का अनुमति चाहता हूं महोदय। मंच को ले जाओ।
और अब कमांडर मनोज सेबास्टियन द्वारा बैंड को वापस ले जाने की अनुमति के बाद बैंड यहां से प्रस्थान करते हुए
रंग सुंदर हैं, संगीत लाजवाब था। रोशनी ने ढलकर, छिपकर और अब निखर कर बीटिंग रिट्रीट समारोह में भव्यता को नए अर्थ दे दिए। रोशनी की धूम है, चमक है। रायसीना सैन्य संगीत से गूंजता हुआ पूरा माहौल।
As the dusky dimness of a setting sun and the crimson coats of a retreating band fade away into the distance, the multicolored tints and tones of a multifaceted nation outline the contours of various landmarks here, the aura of these shades and shimmers tempering the descending darkness, the surroundings still savoring the sounds of the evening. The President's bodyguard have arrived here for the national anthem and to escort the President to Rashtrapati Bhavan.
Salam alaikum. Rajat, salute, madad, thank.
और अब भारत की माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी का यहां से प्रस्थान होगा।
Flag lowered with reverence and respect and folded as per protocol before being taken away for safekeeping. And yes, while we do celebrate our republic today, we also remember with reverence that a lot of hard work, sacrifice and perseverance has gone into ensuring that we stay a republic in the true sense. The President will now be escorted to Rashtrapati Bhavan, with the ceremony today having fulfilled its promise of being one of the most visually appealing and musically flavorful of military traditions. And today, as the President takes a leave from here, we now move on to fulfilling a promise that we make as Indians, to stand shoulder to shoulder with each other, to be there for this country whenever it needs us, and to ensure that the grounding principles of fraternity, equity and dignity for all guide our actions. The people of a republic are its greatest asset, strengthening it, anchoring it and keeping it on the right path.
46 घुड़सवार अंगरक्षकों के साथ माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी का राष्ट्रपति भवन की ओर प्रस्थान। ये प्रकाश की किरणें उम्मीद की रोशनी है, जिनसे हमारा लोकतंत्र रोशन है। जन कल्याण का प्रकाश देश के हर व्यक्ति के जीवन को जगमगाए, यही कामना आज मन से उठती हुई। अंधकार से प्रकाश की यात्रा जैसे हमारे गणतंत्र की यात्रा है। जाने अनजाने देशभक्तों के बलिदान से हमने आजादी पाई और हम गणतंत्र बने सन 1950 में। इस महान देश की गरिमा और गौरव लगातार बढ़ रहा है। जिस प्रकार ये प्रकाश यहाँ फैला है, उसी तरह हमारे गणतंत्र का प्रकाश फैलता जाए।
Winter sunsets have a really final air about them as they also take some much needed warmth away with them. But here today, the air suffused with warmth and sentiment of a proud nation, of proud Indians. Visual images have a way of imprinting themselves on our memories, and ceremonies like today will forever delight and light up our heartwarming recollections of this display we saw today. In fact, Vijay Chowk, where currently the departures are taking place right now, the Vice President of India leaving the venue, saying his goodbyes. And Vijay Chowk, where the ceremony is taking place, is an interesting meeting of paths. It is at this crossing that Kartavya Path, or the path of duty, meets Janpath, or the path of the people. A meeting, in reality, that forms the bedrock of enduring democracy.
गणतंत्रोत्सव एक अवसर होता है जब पूरा देश गर्व करता है अपने गणतंत्र पर और आगे के प्रगति के मार्ग को प्रशस्त करने के लिए वो संकल्प लेता है। सबको मिलकर एक नई और बेहतर तस्वीर बनानी है, एक बेहतर तकदीर। कुछ करने के रास्ते भला कब आसान होते हैं। अक्सर लंबे सफर के बारे में ही सोचकर लोग थक जाते हैं। रास्ते भला कब आसान होते हैं। और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री दर्शक दीर्घाओं के निकट जाकर अभिवादन स्वीकार करते हुए बहुत ही खास और विशेष अवसर दर्शकों के लिए।
Associate sponsor, New Virtus GT Line, Style to Wander.
Your promise is IGI certified. Your ambition is IGI certified. 14-step grading process. 50 years of trust. IGI Trust Certified.
Mama must be missing us, na?
Let's take it one day, give me one day. Feel the itch under my skin, it's a fun day. You believe it when you see we are done, hey. It doesn't matter, just gotta get going.
New GT Line, Tygoon and Virtus. Volkswagen.
If it's a cancer, then what?
It's very distressing.
Anyone can have cancer.
Mentality है कि ये बीमारी मुझे नहीं हो सकती.
There's a thing called cancer is right inside me.
सबसे पहले जो होता है ना, डर जो होता है कि now at the end of the world.
My life went upside down.
Stigma associated with it, which is very scary.
In our country, more than 14 lakh people get diagnosed with cancer every year. Out of that, more than 9 lakhs die every year because of cancer.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Valuations can be frothy. Going public is almost like what some of us would like to say is the holy grail, right? IPOs are a trend, not a bubble.
Do secondary markets exist? Answer is absolutely yes, and it's been around for a very long time.
Valuations could be high or low, and valuations may correct over time, but IPOs are here to stay. It is basically a graduation ceremony of sorts. It is potentially where a startup stops being a startup and starts becoming an enterprise.
The IPO space has just started in the past 24 months. The startup ecosystem has been around for 15 years.
Fundamentally, if you have a strong business and you have predictability of cash flows and you can actually give with a fair degree of confidence where the business is headed, the market will reward you.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
India spends $75 billion on foreign cargo vessels.
$71 billion per annum. That's a lot of money.
Imagine a situation where 95% of our cargo is coming on ships which are not owned by us. If we are still not prepared, if someone were to say that we are not going to give you ships, then we'll be stuck. So the entire nation's economy is at risk.
We are very clear that shipping is also strategic, because without that you can't really be the third largest economy in the world.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
What is to the nines? In literal terms, it's perfection. But to us, it's not just a phrase, it's an attitude. One that starts at your desk and sends a statement to the world. To the nines is about taking charge. It's a way of life where every seam, every fold, is crafted with excellence. It's timeless elegance and uncompromising quality made for the corner office. It's the ideas that inspire redefining order and elevating the tabletop. To the nines, for the leaders of today and the visionaries of tomorrow.
Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Meha Bhardwaj-Alter and this is Game On, your one-stop destination for all things sports. We've got to begin with the biggest story of the day, which is this. The Champions Trophy, and the fast continues with Pakistan's preparations for the Champions Trophy 2025. Nobody knows what is going on. With 20 days to go, new visuals have come of the National Bank Stadium in Karachi, with Pakistan authorities claiming that it has been completed, with the finishing process expected to be fully wrapped up by 31st of January 2025. Remember, today is the 29th. Project manager Bilal Chauhan, he told reporters that finishing touches are being applied to the newly constructed building at the stadium, while the ground floor is complete and dressing rooms are nearing completion. The installation of floodlights and screens is pending, with delivery expected within days. Now, you can look at those visuals. Is the stadium really complete? Have a look at those visuals yourselves. Does this look like a finished stadium? Does this look like a stadium that is 100% finished? These visuals do not show last-minute touches remaining, but instead there is proper construction still underway. Despite the appearance of floodlights and signs of progress, the reality on the ground tells us a different story. There are rooms in the visuals that look far from finished. There is debris, you saw that, there's mud lying around. Where are the finished dressing rooms? The stadium's capacity was increased to accommodate 35,000 fans, with hospitality areas meant to be constructed. Where are those hospitality areas? Pakistan are not holding a domestic competition. This is not even a bilateral series. They are hosting Champions Trophy, which is a multi-nation top international tournament. Pakistan are hosting their first global competition in 28 years, and all we've seen and heard are negative stories of unpreparedness of the venues. For Pakistan, the situation is particularly embarrassing. The country's struggles to complete stadiums and meet the safety requirements have left the ICC questioning whether it was a good idea to host such a major event in Pakistan. Now, we don't know much about the reality on the ground and whether the stakeholders in Pakistan, whose responsibility it was to complete these projects, have been taken to task. But as per Pakistan's English Daily newspaper or English Daily website, Dawn, it seems absolutely impossible, this is what they say, to contemplate the renovation work being completed within the deadline. But the personnel handed the responsibility, they are beaming with confidence. And in fact, we are going to get you one of his bites, but just in a bit. Hold on. Even in the ICC now, the International Cricket Council heads have rolled. According to various reports, ICC CEO Jeff Allardyce, he has stepped down from his position because not only was he under pressure for mishandling funds during the T20 World Cup in the US and the Caribbean last year, the other big reason was the handling of the Champions Trophy. It is being reported now that Allardyce didn't inform the board about the two venues, Karachi and Rawalpindi, not being ready for the Champions Trophy. Allardyce was in charge of the preparations of the stadiums in Pakistan for Champions Trophy, and ICC just wasn't happy with the fact that there have been huge delays. Now, you go back and look at those stadium visuals. These are visuals that have been sent with the authorities saying that this stadium is 100% complete. Just a few finishing touches remain. Now, it remains to be seen whether Pakistan would be ready in time for this marquee event, which features the world's top 8 teams and is being held for the first time after 2017. For now, though, with 20 days to go, the situation is dire, with no response from the ICC on the whole issue as well. Now, listen into what the contractor has to say about whether this stadium is complete.
सिविल वर्क्स है वो 100% कंप्लीट हो गए। जैसे कि हमारी लास्ट डे जो आपकी एक्टिविटी थी, जो आप लोग आए थे तो देखा था कि लास्ट सिविल एक्टिविटी हमारी फ्रंट स्टेप्स थे, जिसकी कंक्रीटिंग उस दिन हो रही थी, जो कि कंटिन्यूअस 72 आवर्स हमारी अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह चली है। और इस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे हमारी जो सिविल वर्क्स है, जो कंक्रीट एक्टिविटी है, वो कंप्लीट हो चुकी है।
Again, like I said, there is not much that's coming out of Pakistan in terms of progress. The visuals we get is what we are showing you and what the contractor there is saying. But what I do know is that when your own daily Dawn says that it seems absolutely impossible for this renovation to be complete before the Champions Trophy, then the situation is dire. And I'm just absolutely surprised by the fact that ICC have yet not come out and spoken about it. Okay, let's move on to football. After months of anticipation, today marks the final round of league phase fixtures in the new format of the Champions League. To mark its conclusion, all 36 teams are in action tonight across 18 fixtures. European champions Real Madrid will take on Brest for a place in the Champions League knockouts as they meet at Stade de Roederer tonight. Real are 16th in the Champions League standings on 12 points after 4 wins and 3 losses from 7 games, while Brest are 13th with 13 points. Both teams are assured of a place in the playoffs, but a win here tonight will be a step forward in trying to qualify directly for the round of 16 with a top 8 finish. Now, Ancelotti's side lost 1-0 at Lille in their last Champions League trip to France in October. They are now on a 4-game winning streak in all competitions following a 5-2 loss to Barcelona in the Spanish Super Cup on January 12th. Ancelotti heaped praise on France forward Kylian Mbappe who scored 21 goals in 31 games across all competitions since moving to Madrid, including 3 goals and an assist in the Champions League. Real could still secure a direct spot, like I said, in the last 16, but they've got to finish in top 8. For that, they have to overtake Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, Brest, Lille, Feyenoord, Monaco, Aston Villa and Bayer Leverkusen, who are all ahead of them in the table. Teams finishing 9th to 24th. They go into the playoffs on February 11th and 12th and 18th and 19th. The draw for the two-legged games is on Friday.
I see the team getting better. We are not at our best level yet, but we are pretty close. I think everyone knows exactly what needs to be done. And the truth is, the team has improved a lot, collectively as a group, but also individually, they have been giving a lot, especially Mbappe, of course, but we can't forget what Rodrigo has done in this period, and what Bellingham has done, and what Vinicius has done too, because Vinicius has given a lot, even if we won't be there tomorrow. So, all this gives me a bit more peace of mind.
Well, in complete contrast to Real Madrid,